Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Norristown Area High School, where we at NASD TV apologize for some technical difficulties, but here we are, starting off the second quarter, Norristown, with a 12-8 lead over the visiting Springfield Cougars, who are 1-0. They're coming off of a 6-20 season, so they obviously have some things to fix from last year. But by the way they've played in this first quarter, it's apparent that they have worked some things out, and they're going to be more competitive. Alan Yates has dropped 4 early points for the Eagles, and it's been all Malcolm Hill and Tyron Green. They have 4 and 6, respectively. And that pretty much tells the story here. We have a pretty close game after 1, and we will pick it up in the second. I'm Mark Holodinsky. Again, this is NASD TV. And the Eagles come out to start the second quarter with a 12-8 lead, and James Ramsey, who left briefly with an apparent knee injury, was able to return, and he inbounds the ball here. He's on the floor with Mayer, Yates, Christmas, and Wyatt. Lorenzo Christmas coming off of a game in which he scored 14, a season high, and a varsity career high. And he's been outstanding scoring the basketball. We'll see if he can continue it. Early here, held scoreless, though. Mayer goes inside, puts up a little floater from about 5 feet and gets it to go. Sheldon Mayer with 2 more. He's now got 5 as he's hit a 3 in this game earlier. Springfield now offensively able to draw a foul, but it's not a shooting foul, so it's just an inbound for the Cougars of Springfield High. Cougars will have Malcolm Hill inbound it. He's already got 4, one of the 5 starters for the Cougars. And Tyron Green at the top of the key, had it stripped away by Wyatt. He cannot pick it up. Here's the Cougars now, able to retain possession. Christian Ross being guarded by James Ramsey, probably the best defender on the Eagles and one of the best in the area. Tyron Green has it now. Gets past Mayer. Passes it over to Ross. Can't find anywhere to go. Passes it off. It's blocked by Yates. Kevin McBride had his shot erased by Alan Yates, who's played great here early. That one's chucked up, and Christian Ross pulls in what was apparently a pass. Malcolm Hill with it now. Wyatt sticking him. Wyatt already has a huge block in this game. Here is Malcolm Hill going out to Green for 3, and he got it. So Tyron Green now has 9 early points. Yates looking for more. He's got it, and 1. Alan Yates is going to the line to try to complete what could be a 3-point play. Alan Yates having the best start to a game he's had all season. He's now got 6, has a chance to make it 7 from the line. And we saw that block defensively. And Alan Yates, key for this team because he's the tallest player on the team, and the only real possible player on this team who could play some center. And they lost Watson and Briggs from a year ago, who could both fill that big man role. Averaged 15.3 points per game last year between the 2 of them. Yates unable to hit the free throw, but if he can play as he's been playing this quarter, that void will be filled. Malcolm Hill trying to get past Wyatt. Puts up the jumper over Yates and got it to go. So Springfield, despite being heavy underdogs here on the road at a very good Norristown team, it's 16-13, hanging in very tough with the Eagles. Wyatt gets it out to Shaquille Walker, getting some early playing time. It's been rare for him this season. Yates deflects the pass. It was not a good one by Walker. And Green down at the other end is able to get fouled. So early on here, the Cougars have been hitting their shots, and they're down by just 3 and have a chance to cut it to 1 or 2 from the line. So we'll see what Green can do. He's off to a tremendous start with 9 points. And Green unable to hit the first, and the Eagles will bring Tom Smith into the game. He will replace Alan Yates. Smith might not have the height of Yates, but he's got tremendous size, very strong player. And Tom Smith always hustling out there. As the second free throw is no good by Green. It bounced in and out, so he's still at 9, unable to get to double digits from the free throw line. Shaquille Walker bringing it up. Sheldon Mayer on the bench here early, so Shaquille Walker has to play some point guard. It's surprising they don't go to Chris Davis here, as we saw him fill some time in that backup point guard role. And it's Tyron Green again, this time in transition, and Tyron Green with 11. It's really been all Green and Hill, as those two have scored the vast majority of the Cougars' points. Wyatt from the corner for 3. It's no good, an air ball. Just a 1-point deficit for the Cougars, who are on the offensive right now. Tyron Hill gets fouled. So Hill and Green have combined for 15. That is, they've scored every point for the Cougars. Very contrasting to the Eagles, who have had 4 different players score. However, equally as effective as these teams, just 1 point separates them. Mayer pokes it away, but he's unable to run it down. What a pesky defender, always getting steals, always poking passes away. But he doesn't necessarily gamble on defense and just always go for the steal. But he still gets his steals, and it's just a great balance between playing the passing lanes and not gambling. And Mayer does it perfectly. Nearly gets a steal there. Here he is playing defense on the dangerous Hill. Hill has shown his scoring ability early. He defers to Christian Ross. Christian Ross now looking for somewhere to go. Mayer picks him up as the Eagles are in his zone. They kick it out. That shot is up and good. Kevin McBride hits another one, and it's actually the first points of the game for him, so it does give the Cougars the lead, however, and they're really hitting their shots. For the most part, getting off good shots, getting some penetration. But when they have to settle for jumpers, they're making them, and it's kept them in this game. They actually have a 1-point lead. Hargrove inside had it intercepted. The Eagles turning the ball over too many times, but that pass too far. It has to be saved by Green, and it is. Now down low, Tom Smith just wrestles the ball away from Kevin McBride. Tom Smith played a great game last game. He scored 8 points, played some outstanding defense, and here he makes the defensive play and comes away with the ball for Norristown. 3.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Ramsey looking for cutters, now goes to Mayer. Little hop step and doesn't get the finish. Yates and Smith able to bounce the offensive rebound around and come up with it. Hargrove puts it up, doesn't get it. Smith gets it back, and finally they put it in. So Tom Smith able to finish after several misses on second, third chance opportunities for the Eagles. But ultimately, they get it to go, and that's all that matters. Here's Hargrove playing some defense on Christian Ross. Now under 3 minutes to go in the half. Green jacks up a tray ball. It's good. Are you kidding me? Tyron Green, he's now got a dozen, and everything he puts up is just going in right now. And for the Eagles, you got to pay more attention to him, as this Cougars team has only proven to have 2 scoring threats. So they really got to focus their defense on Green as much as possible until make some other players score. Don't let Green beat you. Yates inside, off the glass and in. Allen Yates, another one. Yates has 8. And we got a foul right here going against the Eagles. We're tied at 20 as the Eagles and the Cougars both come in here undefeated. 1-0 are the Cougars, 3-0 are the Eagles. And it's kind of confusing to me to see this Norristown team that's coming off that state championship run last year, that undefeated season, all those things, and you have a Springfield team, 6-20 last year. And they've come into this building and just stunned the Eagles early here. We got a tie game at 20, and one of the things that I look at, this Eagles team played a game right here 24 hours ago, a rare back-to-back situation for them. They rarely have back-to-back games, and perhaps showing a little bit of fatigue. is a well-conditioned bunch. They like to run the floor a lot, and perhaps we're seeing some of that. There's really no other explanation for me why this is happening. Of course, anytime you turn the ball over more than your opponent, as the Eagles are doing, they've turned it over 4 times. The Cougars just 2. And that's, although it's not an overwhelming margin, that's definitely something to point to. That's contributed and been a major factor in this tie game. Now, the Eagles have a tie game. They don't have to make a miraculous comeback. They just have to regain their composure and start playing like the Eagles of last year. The Eagles have had some very weak competition earlier in this year. Yes, they're 3-0. But if you include this game, the combined record of all their opponents they've played so far, they're 0-7-0-8 records, 38-65 combined. So the strength of schedule has been extremely weak for the Eagles early on. They have yet to face a real test. It's not to take anything away from them, as they have handled their business in resounding fashion. But we got a tougher part of the schedule coming up, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But right now, Malcolm Hill kicks it out. It's put up for 3, and it's no good. Green finally missed something, but a second chance opportunity for the Cougars. Here's Malcolm Hill. Puts it up. Couldn't get it. Not even close. And that's going to the Cougars. Well, on Saturday, it'll be Untitled Chapter for the Eagles, as they'll travel there. And on the 26th, day after Christmas, Chester. And then followed by that, the Triangle Tournament, where they could face Lower Marion, as Yates gets a nice tip, and Tom Smith comes up with the steal. Hargrove hauls in the high pass, puts it up and puts it in. Shaquille Hargrove gives the Eagles the lead. So the Eagles will certainly they'll face some more tests coming up. But for now, they have the 22-20 lead here at home against Springfield, and they just deflected the ball out of bounds, and to the crowd's dismay, the Cougars will keep possession. Malcolm Hill inbounds, finds Green. They do have 2 defenders on him. It's good to see them swarming him, as Yates and Hargrove both closed in and forced him to give it up. That's what we want to see. Hargrove cheats over again, but they go back to Malcolm Hill. Malcolm Hill, quite the threat himself. He's already dropped 8 in this game. Here's Christian Ross, banks it in. Wow, Christian Ross, the bank is open for him. And it's a 3-ball, so 23-22. And with just under a minute to go in the half, it's the Cougars with the lead. Shocking storyline unfolding here, potentially. And they call a foul on the Cougars here. James Ramsey, of course, left briefly as well, and while that doesn't help, he was only out for about 5 minutes max. And it looks like the Eagles they're not making crisp passes, they're not taking great shots, and they could work things out. They could still easily win this game. They just need to concentrate and bear down. Christian Ross brings it across half court. 40 seconds to go in the first half. 23-22, Cougars leading. Malcolm Hill was in trouble in the corner where the half-court line meets the sideline. So Hill wisely throwing it off the shins of Lorenzo Christmas. Good play there. Lorenzo Christmas has been relatively quiet early. No points. Hasn't even taken that many shots. So we'll see if he can get it going. Here's Hill, puts it up, off the glass. The bank's not open this time. And here come the Eagles with 20 seconds to go and a deficit. Hargrove puts it up and in. Jaquil Hargrove with the little one-hand touch inside. And now just 10 seconds to go. The Cougars look to try to regain the lead before halftime, but they turn it over as Christian Ross caught the ball in the air above the sideline. Got rid of it, but his feet hit the ground first, out of bounds, turnover, Springfield. So now it'll be the Eagles looking to extend their lead rather than the Springfield Cougars trying to get one of their own. Well, with that rebound by the Eagles, 13 for them in the game. For Springfield, just 5. And Alan Yates and Tom Smith have both seen a lot of playing time early. And that's a huge part of that. Both of these guys doing a tremendous job in the paint, just doing a nice job on the glass. And it's it's a big reason that they have a 1-point lead right now. I mean, having a 1-point lead against what doesn't appear to be a very fearsome opponent. It's just the rebounding, I think, if they could continue to do it, it's going to be key. Wyatt, Hargrove, Mayer, Christmas, and Yates for the Eagles, as they have 6 seconds to try to draw up a play. Let's see what Evans drew up. Wyatt faked it for 3, and now it's a turnover. Hargrove gets it back, chucks it up, no good. And Wyatt tried to clean it up at the end of there, but it's no good. Couldn't haul in the loose ball. Well, a surprise here at Norristown Area High School early, as the Springfield Cougars have just a 1-point deficit at halftime. It's 24-23 Eagles. Alan Yates with 8 points. One of the few bright spots for the Eagles in the first half. Of course, another bright spot was the rebounding, and Yates is a big part of that. Welcome back to the second half, everybody. I'm Mark Holodinsky. This is NASD TV. And the Eagles find themselves involved in a close game. Despite the great play of Alan Yates and Jaquil Hargrove, some juniors chipping in, those two combined have a dozen points and some excellent defense. It's been the Cougars that have been the story here. Despite trailing by one, it's still been the story because it's so shocking. Green has a dozen, Hill has 8, and we got the second half underway, so let's see what happens. We could be in for a major upset. The Eagles hope not. We shall see. They call a foul on Wyatt, who put his arms back as if to say, I did not commit that foul. So, tough call. I don't know. That could have gone either way. It's 24-23. And, of course, we've played just 5 seconds in the half. And it's Christian Ross handling. He's guarded by James Ramsey. The Eagles showing some man, and surprisingly, it's Ross being guarded by Ramsey, who I believe is the best Eagles defender. You'd think they would try to put him on Green or maybe Hill, but not the case. And that's out of bounds off of Yates. And it might be a questionable decision, but I really trust that Mike Evans knows what he's doing, and I'm not going to question a decision like that. It really, honestly, hasn't been the defense that's really been the problem. They've only given up 23 points in the first half. That's not bad. That's more than manageable. But just 24 points of their own. Very un-Norristown-like. Christian Ross puts it up. Offensive foul. A rare charge drawn. I believe that was Mayer. Forgive me if I'm incorrect. Anyhow, a great defensive play by the Eagles. 7 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Third quarter. Ramsey handles. Goes to Mayer. Finds Wyatt in the corner. It doesn't go. And it's rebounded by the 5'9" Christian Ross. Ball being brought up by Malcolm Hill. A little bit of bouncing action inside as that ball bounced off of a couple players inside. Mayer all the way to the rack, and down it goes for Sheldon Mayer. And the Eagles extend their lead to 3. Sheldon Mayer's now got 7. It's been a pretty productive game for him scoring-wise. Here's Wyatt. He needs to get on track. Puts it up, and 1. Khalif Wyatt, that'll get you on track. And it's just the 3rd and 4th points of the game for him, and that's why I believe he needs to get on track. But a layup like that, even though it's not a tough shot necessarily, although with the contact maybe it was, but even so, something like that can help get you on track and give you a lot of confidence going forward. And Wyatt will get a free throw, and the Springfield Cougars will take a timeout. Wisely taking timeout as they're still in this game, but if they continue to play like this, they won't be. So they call a timeout, try to sort things out. The Eagles have scored the first 4 points of the half. So a little bit of a 4-0 run for them. 6-0 if you take it back to the first half, as the Eagles have trailed several times in this game. Never by more than 1, however. And the Eagles break the huddle. It's their starting 5 out there with the exception of Gardner. Yates is in for him. We haven't seen a lot of Jarrell Gardner, so I don't know if there's something wrong with him or if it's just the matchups by the coaches. Either way, we'll try to see if we can see anything on Jarrell Gardner. But another guy who's been absent, not from the game, but from the scoring column, is Lorenzo Christmas. Christmas, second leading scorer on this team at 12.0 points per game. Gardner, 4th on the team with 6.7, and between the two of them, no points. So that's been a huge problem for the Eagles today. Wyatt with just 4. He usually is dropping 15 a night. He's got 5 now with the free throw, though. So those 3 players not doing their usual things, scoring the basketball, and that's why it's just a 6-point lead. Pass to Ross. He ends up getting fouled, and I believe he was in the act of shooting, so he's going to get 2. And we mentioned at the top, Springfield, a team just 6-20 last year. 6-20. I mean, the Eagles were 33-2, counting all their different playoffs, and of course, state 4A, PIAA runner-ups, runners-up. As Ross misses the free throw. It's still 29-23, and boy, The first points are sometimes the toughest ones to get of the half, and the Cougars are definitely feeling that right now. Ross does knock this one down, however. And it's a 5-point game. Here's Wyatt trying to shake off Hill. Tried to make a pass. It's off of Green and out of bounds, so Wyatt in a little bit of a conversation with the referees about whatever it may be. And Wyatt to inbound. Finds Christmas in the corner for 3. It's good. Lorenzo Christmas, you knew it was just a matter of time with the way he's been playing so far this year. And that 3-point shot is one of his best attributes. Eagles with some full-court defense. Wyatt nearly takes it away. He's done that several times today, where it looks like he's going to get a steal, and the Cougars literally able to just barely keep it in their grasp. Malcolm Hill puts it up. Very tough shot. It's no good, and the Eagles continue to dominate the glass. That is their 14th rebound compared to just 6 for the Cougars. Wow, Lorenzo Christmas comes in, tries to hammer it down. It's off the rim and no good. You like to see that aggressiveness, but Lorenzo Christmas not able to get it to go. Boy, he really got up there, though. Now he's got the ball in his hands right here. Down the sideline. Little hop step, puts it up, doesn't get it. Yates with the rebound. He puts it up, and it was hit, so it's a held ball. And Christmas hit that big 3, and it really got his confidence and the team's confidence going as it's made it 32-24. But he's missed his next 2 shots. He's taken 2 shots quickly. Wyatt in the corner for 3. No good. A rebound snatched by Christian Ross. So Christmas needs to he can shoot at his will because he's that talented of a scorer. There's no yellow light on him. But he just needs to continue to play within his game. And he got that big 3. It pumped him up, and he needs to settle down. He's a heck of a scorer, heck of a player, and he's going to get his points. 5 minutes to go in the quarter, a dozen to go in the game, or actually 13. That one's put up and good by Kevin McBride. Kevin McBride's got a couple of baskets. Ramsey on the other end puts it up from the baseline, gets fouled. Well, the Eagles extended the lead to 8. That would be their biggest of the game. However, Springfield able to answer with a 2 of their own, and it's 32-26, and James Ramsey's going to shoot free throws. James Ramsey, the 6'2" senior forward, he's able to get the first. It rimmed around and in. Khalif Wyatt in conversation with someone over in the bleachers, as Ramsey averaging 7.7 points per game. That's good for 3rd on the team. And he gets them both from the free throw stripe. I believe they're calling a lane violation here, perhaps. The free throw does not count. A Norristown player stepped inside the lane before the free throw was released. Second free throw, no good. James Ramsey only able to get 1 point from the line. Alan Yates nearly took it away, but it went off of him and out of bounds. The Eagles, so many times, they like to run and use that fast break. You have to get turnovers in order to do that. And in this game, they've taken it away 9 times, as Mayer able to save that ball. Wow, what an effort by the little guy, Sheldon Mayer. Unbelievable hustle play there. But what I was going to say about these steals is they've come so close on several occasions and just barely not been able to get it. It's steals that would lead to easy baskets on the other end, but they're barely the Springfield Cougars are barely able to hold on to it and keep it. So it's been Yates and Wyatt and the rest of them coming so close. And, of course, they have done it on several occasions as well. As we mentioned, 9 turnovers by the Cougars. As Jaquil Hargrove comes into the game, Sheldon Mayer, he appears to be banged up. He went hard to the floor and even into the walls. That was a powerful little dive. He appears to be in some agony. He's holding his left wrist, I believe. So we'll see. We're going to keep an eye on that. That's another injury situation to look at. We've already seen Ramsey, who unable to finish here. He left the game earlier due to injury. And now it's Mayer, and Hargrove replaces him. We'll see who runs the point for the Eagles. It'll probably be Wyatt. No real true point guard on the floor for them right now, and there'll be a timeout. Springfield with a 33-26 deficit and 3 minutes and 49 seconds to go in the third quarter. call timeout. Well, Green and Hill, 0 second half points. They had 20 together at halftime. They still have 20. And Mayer with 7 for the Eagles, Yates with 8. It's been a tremendously spread out effort. 7 Eagles have scored. No Eagle has scored more than 8. Yet they have 33 points. Well, Sheldon Mayer went over to talk to Dennis Flynn and the trainers, the doctors over there in the training room. And we will definitely keep an eye to see if he returns to the bench and perhaps even to the game. Well, the Eagles extended their lead after halftime, and a big part of that has been their sustained success rebounding the basketball. It's 15-9 in that category right now, and Ramsey gets a steal. So more steals by the Eagles equals more success for them, ability to make passes like that, and it's no good. Sometimes it's so tough as Yates gets it inside and can't get it, and the Cougars get a rebound. Here they come now with numbers. Ross nearly lost it and ended up with a dribble violation. And the Eagles will get it. They force another turnover. And sometimes when you force turnovers, you get into a transition situation. It's so much easier to find an open man because it's so hard for the defense to pick up their man with just players just all running down the floor. And that time they were able to find a wide open Khalif Wyatt. You know that that's not what the Cougars wanted. But fortunately for the Cougars, Wyatt didn't connect. But if they could continue to get steals that give him looks like that, he'll go on to score 20. Here's Ramsey, finds Wyatt. Back to Ramsey, and now to Hargrove, inside Christmas. And he lost it. It's picked up and saved by Christian Ross. That ball appeared destined for the baseline, but Ross scooped it up. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. It is the Eagles 33, the Cougars 26. Well, they got him at arm's length right now. They just need to finish this game. And that one's put up and in by Malcolm Hill. So Malcolm Hill scores his first basket of the second half. Wyatt, one-armed slinged pass to Christmas. His three's well short. Ramsey able to save it and rebound it. Here's Wyatt. Little pro hop, layup, good. Khalif Wyatt, if the jumper's not falling, get yourself in the paint. Get some points down there. And he's got 7 now. He's just 1 point off of the team lead. Hargrove finds Christmas, and off of a turnover, the Eagles. That basket's not going to count, but Hargrove will go to the line. We saw Lorenzo Christmas also playing a little bit down low, and we see him hit so many big threes that we might think of him as a perimeter player, but he can go inside a little bit. He's got pretty good size and good finishing ability down there. Christmas has his Eagles with a 7-point lead, but he misses the first free throw. 35-28 is the score. I'm Mark Kolodinsky. You're watching NASD TV. Boys varsity basketball, 1-0 Springfield at 3-0 Norristown. And it's actually Lorenzo Christmas at the line, not Hargrove. And Christmas averaging an even dozen per game on the early season and makes the second free throw. He hasn't scored less than 11 in a game so far this year. Perhaps in some danger of doing that, but he could care less as long as the team wins. Such a team-oriented basketball. As Hargrove could not get the save. He tried to dive to keep that one from hitting the baseline, but he contacted the baseline with the basketball, and the ball's turned over to Springfield. 10 minutes and change left to go in the entire game, and it's 36-28. Christian Ross right about at midcourt. Wyatt guarding him. Christian Ross kicks it out. It was no good by Kevin McBride. We saw him hit a few shots, a few open shots, but that one didn't look good. Sheldon Mayer is back out of the trainer's room and onto the bench. So next step will be to try to come into the game as Tom Smith lays it up and in. Again, season high, 8 points yesterday in the Eagles' 62-48 win over Tim Smith, Tom's brother, and the rest of the Methacton Warriors. A minute and a half to go in the quarter, 38-28. Tom Smith halfway to what he had last night, now with 4. He brings so much energy, too. And here he is. Ross inside, not able to get it to go, and that's a foul called on the Eagles. Or the Cougars, excuse me. 10-point lead. It's the biggest of the game for the Eagles. It's 38-28. Louis Frangiosa comes into the game for the first time. He could shoot the three. And Mayer remains on the bench. He's in discussion with one of his coaches right now. And we'll see. We'll see if he can return. And if the Eagles get a comfortable enough lead, it won't be worth bringing him back and risking making it worse, as Tom Smith gets his 5th and 6th points. Tom Smith looking good and adding to what's been a tremendously balanced Eagles attack. No player with more than 8. There's a long inbound pass to Ross, and Ross puts it up, doesn't get it. And it's rebounded by Hargrove. Well, one way to beat the full court pressure is to pass over it, but it doesn't matter because Ross couldn't finish, and good defense on the play. 37 seconds to go in the half. James Ramsey setting things up for the Eagles. Gets to Hargrove. Half a minute to go in the quarter now. Perhaps a little early to start thinking about taking the last shot, but the Eagles may try it. Again, the ball has to be advanced after 5 seconds if the player is heavily guarded, or else it's a violation and a turnover. Ramsey right now not being heavily guarded, though, so they'll let some clock run out. They'll try to take the last shot. Let's see if they can make it a good one. Here's Frangiosa, dribbles inside, puts it up, and couldn't get it. He got his own miss, though, and now it's taken away, and that's long after the buzzer, even though it's good. This doesn't count, and the lead is 12 for the Eagles going into the final quarter of play. It's 40-28. Well, the story here early was the injury of James Ramsey. He was fine, came back. He's had a very effective game, playing some good defense, and also chipping in with 3 points. And we saw him diving around for some loose balls earlier after the injury. He's fine. Then the storyline became the close score, as it was just a 1-point game at halftime in favor of the Eagles. 24-23 was the tally at halftime. Springfield even had a 1-point lead on several occasions in the first half. And again, this is a Springfield team they are 1-0 this year with a 2-point victory in their only game. But this is a squad that was 6-20 last year, and they came in and played a heck of a first half. But the Eagles came out in the second half and really started to play better. They now have a 12-point lead, and now the storyline is Sheldon Mayer, as he dove for a ball, made a heck of a play to save it. But it may have cost him some minutes injury-wise. Hopefully nothing more than that. 8 minutes to go. Fresh 8 on the quarter. And Malcolm Hill will inbound. Well, there was some discussion with Springfield and the officials if that buzzer-beating, pretty much full court 3 should have counted. I mean, that was from inside the other arc. But it was well after the buzzer, and I think we all knew that. But it's so impressive to see that they wanted it to count. Don't underrate what the Eagles did there. And Louis Frangiosa able to take a shot with very little time left, so that if he missed, there was no time for even something like that to happen for Springfield. Malcolm Hill gets past Wyatt. Now it's Ross inside, kicks it out to Lightcap, and he buries a 3. Ryan Lightcap cuts the deficit back down to single digits. It's 40-31, Norristown. James Ramsey held to just 3, and of course he had the early injury. Double teamed in the corner. It's tipped away. He turns it over. Here comes Green. Tyron Green puts it up. Offensive foul. The Eagles draw another one as Louis Frangiosa makes the fine defensive play. Meanwhile, Rich Ademo for the Springfield Cougars has 3 personal fouls. He's been relatively quiet in this game, but a key player for them, a key rebounder at that, and he's into a little bit of foul trouble now. Here's Ramsey. Finds Wyatt. He's in the corner now. Puts it up from the baseline. Gets it to go. A 2 from the baseline for Khalif Wyatt. Nice looking mid-range jumper there. It's so dangerous when he could go to the basket like he can, or hit that mid-range jumper, or hit from beyond the arc. So dangerous. He could score from anywhere. Sounds like such a cliche to say someone could score from everywhere, but Khalif does just that. Inside the paint, mid-range jumper beyond the arc. He's got it. He's got everything. Here's Tyron Green. Goes to Ross. Ross being guarded by Ramsey, as he has been for most of the game. And the Cougars tried to get it inside, but it was blocked away, and now the ball's out of bounds, and it's going to stay with the Cougars. Well, 6 minutes to go. We got a pretty close game still. 42-31, the Eagles on top. Cougars with possession. And if they can make a little run here, we're going to have an exciting finish. So the Eagles need to prevent that. They don't want that. Christian Ross gets to Malcolm Hill at the top. Ryan Lakeup hit a 3 earlier. He's 1 of 1 from the field. There's Tyron Green. Gets to Malcolm Hill. Lloyd Frangiosa getting the most minutes he's seen all year. And he's played extremely well, drawing a charge, and now it's inside for Christian Ross, who banks it in. Wyatt will bring it up past half court. Sheldon Mayer ready to check back into the game at the next loose ball. That's a great sign. Even if they don't need him this game, which they probably do, as Wyatt buries the 3. Went to the ground as he drained it. No foul called, but great looking shot by Wyatt. But even if Mayer's not significant for this game, which I think it is because it's a close game, it's so great to see that he's healthy and he'll be back for the remainder of the season. And you just don't know how serious it could be if he's going to miss 1 game, 2 games, 5 games, and he's ready to check back in. That one was tipped by Ramsey, picked up by Smith, but he couldn't hang on. Brett Greenberg inside, put up a pitiful reverse attempt. Here comes the Eagles the other way, 3-on-1. Wyatt behind the back to Ramsey, missed the layup. Oh, and he missed the tip as well. Oh, man. And now Tyron Green the other way, puts it up, in, and a foul. What a turn of events as the Eagles had a 3-on-1. Wyatt decided to get fancy, pulled it off beautifully. I mean, just a beautiful behind-the-back pass. Ramsey, unfortunately, they were unable to get the finish, unable to get the tip, and now bang, just like that. 2 points for Springfield as they run back. So often we see a missed dunk or a missed layup on one end. So often turns into a transition opportunity for the opposition and an easy basket. And it's a 4-point swing, and perhaps 5 if Tyron Green can hit the free throw. Tyron Green now with 14. He can make it 15 from the line, and he does not. Christmas goes to Mayer. So Sheldon Mayer, the 5'8" junior point guard, able to return. Averaging 4.7 points a game on the year, but that's just half the story with him, as he's such a great defender, such a great passer. Does so many things well. Shoots a very high percentage, too. And here he gets the dish to Tom Smith. Tom Smith can't finish, though. Neither can Christmas. And Smith finally gets fouled. The Eagles having a little bit of difficulty, at least, scoring inside at the rim, inside the paint. They haven't been finishing with tremendous effectiveness. However, they are dominating the paint in one way, and that's rebounding. That's 25 rebounds for the Eagles compared to just 11 for the much smaller and showing it Springfield Cougars. Smith makes the first, and he cannot get the second. Tom Smith, 5.3 per game. His season high was yesterday, right here against Bethacton, and his brother, as we mentioned before. He scored 8 in that game. 4:19 to go in the game. The Eagles have an 11-point lead, and time's running out on the Cougars. That one's up and good by Greenberg, and for as well as the Cougars have played and as well as they've competed with a much better Norristown team, it doesn't look good for them right now. And yeah, sure, it's 9 points, and we expect it to be a lot more than that at this point. But with just 4 minutes to go, as Wyatt puts up a 3 from the corner, it's no good. And Fred Joseph rebounds, puts it up off the glass, no good. And it's rebounded by Ryan Lightcap, taken away by Christmas, and it's in. Lorenzo Christmas able to get it, and it's 48-37. And again, for as well as they played, especially in the first half, the Cougars are seeing it slip away. They're seeing their chances slip away. They've kind of kept the Eagles within reach all game, but they're still within reach. They're still within reach, but time's running out. 3:34 to go in the game, 48-37 Eagles. Great defensive performance by the Cougars. We talk about how the Eagles have struggled finishing inside, but that's just goes to show how well the Cougars defense have played, holding the Eagles to under 50 points. Of course, we have 3 minutes to go and a half. It's been a very balanced scoring attack. Wyatt with 12, Yates with 8, Smith with 7. Scoring coming from pretty much everywhere, and that's not been the case for the Cougars as Ross, Hill, and Green have dominated the ball and dominated the scoring column. Lightcap had it batted away by Smith. Makes another defensive play. There he comes, puts it up. No good, but he's going to the line. Tom Smith, we talk about how Sheldon Mayer, his passing and his defense is two of his major strengths, so you can't always just look at the scoring column. Well, with Tom Smith, that's the case as well. Rebounding is such a key part of his game, and Norristown with 26 rebounds. Tom Smith's been in the middle of that. And also making defensive plays like that, and not necessarily just blocks, but changing plays inside, changing shots, that is, and getting some steals along the perimeter. Tom Smith, free throw, good. Well, we're late in the game, but Malcolm Hill does have 3 fouls, so that's something to keep an eye on. 2 more, and he's ejected. And, of course, he's a key player for them. Tom Smith hits the second free throw, and the Eagles hit 50. It's 50-37. Christmas will try to harass Green in the backcourt. Green brings it up, though, and here's Christian Ross. They get it inside, but before the shot by Rich Ademo, there was a whistle. So with the Eagles already having committed 9 fouls in the half, they've only committed 5, actually, so it's not free throws for the Cougars, but rather an inbound. Christian Ross now gets it inside, and they put up a shot that's no good, but a foul. So Tom Smith sends the player to the ground, but he fouled him. 50-37, I'm Mark Haladinsky for NASD TV. And your Eagles have a 50-37 lead on the visiting Cougars of Springfield High right now. But number 10, Christian Ross will try to cut into that deficit with free throws. Makes the first. Alan Yates will replace Tom Smith. And for as good as Briggs and Watson were, Tom Smith and Alan Yates certainly aren't that yet, but perhaps they could be. They've played extremely well early in the season, and it seems like every game they've improved. And if they could continue that trend, they'll be really getting it done by the end of the season. Here's Wyatt leaking out from the other side. Puts it up. No good, but a foul. And a great job by Wyatt there to switch hands. What you do with your 2 steps in basketball is so important. After you pick up that ball and you get 2 steps, what you do really is huge. And Wyatt able to step one way and then change direction, switch the ball to his other hand, and couldn't get the finish that time, but didn't come all that far away and was fouled. Khalif Wyatt, senior forward, 6'3". He'll be playing his college ball at Temple next year. As Wyatt will shoot his free throws now. Khalif, 14.3 points per game on the year, and right around that average today. He's got 12. Could make it 14 from the line, and some substitutions being made by Springfield brings Brett Greenberg into the game. Big body down low. He can get some rebounds and some putbacks down low. That's his specialty. Here's Wyatt, free throw. Good. Khalif Wyatt, very solid free throw shooter, and he gets that one to go, and it's a 13-point lead. 2:42 to go in the game. The Eagles trying to go to 4-0, and they look to be in good shape. Malcolm Hill inbounds it, and the Eagles pressuring them in the backcourt despite their 14-point lead. Pressure, pressure, pressure. That's what it's all about for the Eagles defense. And it's really helped them overcome a slow start here in the second half. They already have 28 second half points compared to just 24 in the first half. Christmas, the rebound of the air ball. The fans with a little air ball chant trying to get into these players' heads. Mayer will take his time. 2 minutes to go in the game. Ramsey inside to Yates, has some room with a little spin. Nice move by Alan Yates. Wow, showing some ability in the post. We talk about what you do with your 2 steps, and for a big man, it's even more important. And he used that little spin right there with his 2 steps. He's got it double digits now with 10. Alan Yates playing his best game as an Eagle. Hard to the floor goes Christian Ross as he was fouled. 1 minute and 3/4 to go in the game. Well, that's the 7th team foul of a half on Norristown, so 1-1 for Christian Ross, despite that not being a shooting foul. Makes the first, they'll get a second. And he does. %50% are the Cougars from the free throw line, just 3 of 6. It's not a great number, but they haven't really gotten to the line enough. But Ross converts another one. And Ross now with 10. Wyatt now with the ball along the wing. Gets to Christmas. And now to Ramsey. Ramsey looking for somewhere to go. Gets it inside to Yates and now back out to Mayer for 3. No good. Rebounded, however, by the Eagles with Lorenzo Christmas. James Ramsey passes into the corner for Wyatt. Nearly traveled, but they don't call anything, and Wyatt scrambling for it now. Christian Ross and the Cougars come away with it, but 14-point deficit for them and just a minute to go. Ross going to the basket, gets fouled. Very aggressive. He's been that all game. And it's 54-40. The Eagles with the advantage. Their advantage on the rebounding has swelled. It's now 28-12 that they're out-rebounding Springfield. And if you can out-rebound at that kind of a rate, I mean, we mentioned it in the first half. They were winning the battle of the boards, but they were still just had a 1-point lead or so as the free throw is no good, and Ramsey rebounds it. But I thought that if that trend continued and they continued to expand their advantage on the boards, that they would be able to expand their lead and make this a lot less close. And that's exactly what's happened. Mayer with just 47 seconds to go. Drives it, now kicks it out to Hargrove. Eagles look to reset the offense. Mayer out to Ramsey. The Eagles in no kind of hurry. It is conceivable that they could end the game on this possession. But Yates will try to finish, and he gets fouled. Alan Yates has looked impressive. He's able to receive the ball in the post, take 1 or maybe 2 dribbles, make some kind of a move, and then put up a shot, and he's been very good finishing. Well, if you want to pick on him a little bit, one area he's struggling in is his free throw shooting, as he's got an 0 for going tonight. But it's really hard to pick on Yates the way he's played so far. He's had a great game. The free throw is no good, though. It is an area you'd like to see him improve. The Eagles as a team, though, outstanding success from the line. They are 8 for 12, and that's a very solid 75% clip, and Yates improves it. So Alan Yates hits his first free throw of the game. And Christian Ross will bring it up for the Springfield Cougars. That one was deflected out by Mayer, so the Cougars keep it. But they got under a half a minute to work with in the game, and it's 55-40 to the Eagles. They're going to go to 4-0. Well, you got a long way to go to match what they did last season, but they are off to the undefeated start. Again, though, as Ross fights against Mayer, and that one's out of bounds off of the Eagles. And their opponents have been really weak so far this season. There's really no other way to say it. 38-65 is their records from a year ago if you combine them all. But again, some serious tests coming up. Imatep and Chester in back-to-back games, 6 days apart. That one was erased by Yates, but they call a foul. And then they'll play that triangle tournament where Lower Marion is a team in that tournament that they will likely play unless one of the teams gets upset. They have a game against Archbishop Carroll coming up later on. They have a big test against Dalton Pepper and the Pennsbury later on this season as this free throw is hit by Greenberg. So that's when we're really going to get to see what this team is made of. This one was a little scary to start off with, as this Springfield team really is not all that talented, and they fought hard, and they do have some nice players returning from last year. But 2 free throws were hit by Springfield there, but it's good to see that the beginning was just an aberration, and they ended up playing some Norristown basketball, outscored the Springfield by 12 in the second half. And it's the Eagles victorious, 55-42. And despite the shooting prowess of the Springfield Cougars, they made all 3 of their threes. That's an impressive 100% clip, but despite that, the Eagles able to overcome some early struggles, and they win at 55-42. Wyatt led the Eagles in scoring with 14. Green led everybody with 16. Well, we got more basketball coming up later on, so check your NASD TV schedules, everybody. The Eagles' next game's on Friday at Wissahickon. The girls will be home against Wissahickon, so come out to some games, support your team. Until next time, I'm Mark Holodinsky for NAS TV. Good night, everyone.